I would like you guys to welcome our next student presenter to the stage. She is an accomplished writer and has been involved in the Rampage and Ink Blots for most of her high school career. Please give a warm welcome to senior Leila Sherbini.
Hi guys, so as Ms. Greenswag said, I'm Leila, I'm a senior here. And I have a short story for you guys entitled Bound, so I'm gonna just go at it. Okay. To the optimist, it would seem like fate. There has to be some greater being at work for any of this to make any sense. To the scientist, the phenomenon can only be explained through survival of the fittest. It happens to ensure reproduction, to ensure that the human race never dies out. To the romantic, it's the best thing that can ever happen. It means that there is no guess and check when it comes to love. All one has to do is be patient, knowing happiness could be right around the corner. To the cynic, it's a life devoid of free choice, a life with a constant lack of fulfillment and disappointment, because somehow, some way, your life is tangled with that of someone else, and not by choice. No one knows how, or even really when, this having the name of your soulmate or your match imprinted on the skin of your left hand started. One day it would just appear on your skin, and no one questioned it. Finding your match is meant to be the pinnacle of your existence, the happiest moment of your life. Any and all other accomplishments will never compare to that feeling you get when you finally put a name to a face and feel complete. A cynic would say that they're using their match as an excuse to remain complacent. A match would just give the cynic a pitying look and move on. Matches are quick to make a condescending remark or give you a look of superiority, wanting you to know they found their match and you haven't. They really can't help it. Matches tend to only have two default settings: intense, unwavering love or pity. These looks are half the reason why so many people are so eager to find their matches. They want to be on the giving, not receiving end of these looks. To the cynic, it's just another reason to hate the process. You can tell she's a cynic just by looking at her. She has a constant look of displeasure on her face as she observes all the matches making hard eyes at one another. It's like they're bound to each other with no say in the matter, the cynic thinks, scratching at her hands. A couple bumps into her, too caught up in gazing adoringly at each other to notice or say sorry. Fed up, she throws up her hands, scoffs in anger, and walks away. I'll never be like that. Yet sometimes, if you look closely enough, you'll see her scratching at the skin on her left hand, right between where the thumb and index finger meet, over and over and over. Sitting at lunch, surrounded by matches and romantics, even the occasional optimist, the cynic feels more alone than ever. How can you be happy knowing you have no say in your own life, yells the cynic, hoping to make at least one person doubt himself, if only for a second. It's fate, replies the optimist. It's true love, says a match, not even looking away from his soulmate. It's the best chance we have at producing healthy, productive offspring, offers up a scientist. The cynic's heard it all before. No one can provide a new answer, an answer that would explain away the whole phenomenon and make it seem just a little less like lifetime incarceration. Fine, whatever, she sighs, scratching frantically at her left hand. But if it weren't for that name on your hand, how would you know? Everyone just assumes their match is their soulmate. How do you know? For a moment, it seems as though she has them stumped. For all their self-assurance, no one but a cynic would ever stop to actually wonder why their matches are their match. They just are. The silence continues for a moment longer until a shy match speaks up. She usually only speaks to her soulmate or close friends, choosing to blend in rather than to flaunt her happiness. Have you ever had a panic attack? She asks quietly, raising her head to look into the cynic's eyes. You know the feeling like you can't breathe? It kind of feels like the whole world is crashing down on you, trying to fit your entire body into one tiny little space all at once. That's what it feels like when you see your match for the first time. It's like you'll die if you don't take that step toward him and introduce yourself, finally putting a name to a face. By that time, you already know it's meant to be. The name just confirms it. By the time she's finished, all the other matches at the table are nodding along, smiling, and everyone else looks at her in awe. They can't wait to have that feeling. The cynic is quick to disregard the entire conversation, filing it away as another example of the ridiculousness that comes with being matched. She gives up trying to reason with her companions. She just sits there thinking unconsciously tracing lines on her hand, over and over and over. Whenever a new student joins the school, everyone reacts differently. This could be the one, screams the optimists, preparing themselves for the best and the worst all at once. The romantics all begin swooning, conjuring up tales of finding love in the most unexpected places, like wandering down the math hallway or bumping into each other in the lunch line. The scientists are all too busy trying to figure out which dominant recessive gene combinations will provide the best offspring. Matches look at one another with a certain mix of fondness and amusement, turning to their match and shaking their heads as if to say, "Remember when we acted so silly?" And the cynic, always alone in her opinions, watches from the sidelines, her scowl ever present. She's content to watch everyone make fools of themselves and wait for the mayhem to die down. She's felt restless all day. All the excitement over the new kid, a boy she's found out, and a romantic, has started to get to her. Her discomfort and displeasure surrounding the whole scenario is having a negative effect on her attitude. She's felt the urge, something tugging at her almost, to just head off in one direction and not look back all day. Luckily, the day is almost done, and she's finally able to escape from the crazy this thing tends to bring out in people. She's scratching at her hand more than usual, a habit brought on by her increased anxiety. In her haste to get as far away as possible, she trips in the hallway, running into people without a passing glance back to apologize. The tugging in her won't let up. Just then, another body comes barreling into her from the opposite direction, sending both books and limbs flying. "Oh crap, sorry," she says, trying to frantically pick up her papers, still caught up in the urgency that had possessed her moments ago. Hey, it's okay," she hears a voice from above her say. "There's no rush. Just take a deep breath and look up." She falls almost completely still. She's still rubbing at her hands for a second and then looks up. The tugging has stopped. Instead, she's entirely focused on the face filling her line of sight, a bright smile spread wide across it. "Wow, I heard you were a cynic, but I didn't realize how much. You must have been fighting this pretty hard to have a reaction like that," the smile says. "What are you talking about?" whispers the cynic, still a little disoriented. "That feeling you just had? It was your body reacting to your match. It knew what was happening even if you didn't," the smile responds. "Oh, I don't have a... Oh, says the cynic, taking a closer look at the rest of the face that surrounds that huge, overly excited smile. "So you're... Oh." The smile helps the cynic up off the floor, pulling her up by her left hand and hanging on to it even after she's righted herself. The smile, if possible, gets bigger as he sees the words etched on her hand. "It's nice to finally meet you." Thank you.